There are so many hot cards in the sports card hobby right now that it was impossible just to pick 5. So today, you get a bonus card. It's our top 6 hot sports cards of the week.
My name is Jeff Wilson. By day, I invest in tech companies. And at night, I invest in sports cards. Join me on my journey to profit from the hobby we all love.
Hello, sports card investors, and welcome to another episode. Wow, is this an exciting time for the hobby? We've got the NBA season just around the corner. We've got the NFL racing towards the playoffs. And we've got sports card prices across the board going up, baby. And that's what we're going to talk about today. It is also exciting because of the launch of our brand new and totally free Sports Card Investor app. It is incredible. Check it out. So here's what you need to do. Pause this video right now and go to the App Store on your phone. Go to the App Store on iPhone or the Google Play Store on Android and search for Sports Card Investor. This new app will come up when you search for Sports Card Investor. Download it, give it a try. It is 100% free, and I think you will agree that it's pretty awesome. All right, let's get into our top 5 cards of the week. There is so much to talk about. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, I promised you a bonus card this week because there were so many cards to choose from, and the bonus card is going to go to a player who his entire career trajectory and his entire trajectory of card prices changed over the course of 2 preseason games and one of the all-time greats tweeting about him. I am talking about Jalen Horton-Tucker of the Los Angeles Lakers, who had himself some pretty incredible preseason games, scoring 19 and then scoring 33. But what got even more attention was the fact that LeBron James tweeted this, where he praised Jalen Horton-Tucker and he was yelling about him on the bench of the second game about how awesome he was, actually suggesting that this guy could be like the great next thing. And believe me, that is all it takes these days for sports card investors and collectors to take notice. You can see here what it did to the prices of his 2019 Optic Holo Raw card. Guys, this is incredible. Check this out. Over the last 30 days, Jalen Horton-Tucker's 2019 Optic Holo Raw card is up 2,819%. 2,819%. That is insanity. This was a card that was $3 back around Thanksgiving. You could have bought no one knew who this guy was. You could have bought his 2019 Optic Holo Raw for $3. And this card now is going to set you back over $91. And we're over the course of a couple of weeks. It is incredible how dynamic the sports card hobby is today. And gosh, if you happen to be sitting on a pile of this guy's cards, oh my goodness, you are a happy, happy person right now. But let's get into the rest of our top 5. Let's talk about some players who are perhaps a little more established, have a little bit more of a track record beyond just preseason games. And let's start with football and talk about the great Derrick Henry. And boy, does Derrick Henry have a track record now. Now, you guys know this guy literally carried the Titans through the playoffs last year. He ran wild in the Titans' 3 playoff games and was an absolutely unstoppable force. Well, he has carried that into this season. He has been great this season. In fact, he has a shot of breaking the all-time NFL single season rushing record. Henry right now has 1,532 yards with 3 games left to go. That record, which is Eric Dickerson's, is 2,105 yards. So that means he would need 573 yards in his last 3 games. That's a lot of yards, without a doubt. But considering the fact that he just had 215 this last weekend against the Jags, anything's possible, especially when he's got Detroit, Green Bay, and Houston on the schedule, who are all susceptible perhaps to giving up a bunch of rushing yards. We'll see. Even if he gets to 2,000 yards, that would be an incredible accomplishment, and it would be hard to pass him over with MVP votes. Sports card investors like the possibilities, and that's why his cards have been on a very strong upwards trend, as you can see here. Now we're going to go back and look at his 2016 Prism Silver cards, which was his rookie card. And there's so few of these that are graded. These are very low pop cards, only 51 of these in PSA 10 condition, only 81 of these in PSA 9 condition, so not a ton of sales, but nonetheless, very strong trend lines. If we go to price change by percentage, you can see what I'm talking about. Over the course of the last 30 days, his PSA 10 as of the last sale, up over 58%, and his PSA 9 up over 85%. So Derrick Henry's cards are running away. Excuse the pun. Well deservedly so. He's had one heck of a season, as has this next guy, the number 4 player on our list, the leading tight end by far in the NFL, and it's not even close, Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce is an absolute force, so much so. This is incredible. Travis Kelce is leading the NFL in receiving yards, but he's a tight end. But he's leading the NFL in receiving yards at 1,250 yards through week 14. He already holds the record for the most seasons with 1,000+ receiving yards by a tight end with 5 seasons. And it kind of seems like this guy's just getting started, right? He's already a Super Bowl champion. He's a 5 times Pro Bowler. He's been named first team All-Pro twice. Of course, when you're paired with Patrick Mahomes, it certainly makes life a little bit easier. And people are optimistic that his incredible run is going to continue forward, and we see that in his card prices. Now, these two are incredibly low population count cards. These are 2013 cards. This is his 2013 Prism base card, which is a pop count of 34. And his 2013 Topps Chrome card in PSA 10, which is a pop count of 59. Both of these cards have gone up quite nicely. If we switch to look by percentage, you can see that his Prism base card is up 67% as of the last sale over the last 30 days. And his Topps Chrome up almost 45% over the course of the last 30 days. So his card's definitely headed in a good direction. Now let's switch from football back to the hardwood. Let's talk about basketball again for a second. And we've already talked about one member of the 2019-20 basketball rookie class who has caught fire in recent days, Talen Horton-Tucker. Well, let's talk about one of his counterparts in the 2019-20 rookie class, a guy who's a little bit more well-known. People have been excited about this guy last year as well as this year, but his cards have really been going up in value over the last couple of months. The 22-year-old forward from Washington, Rui Hachimora. Rui Hachimora has brought a lot of excitement to the hobby, and I think that there's a couple of reasons for that. So first of all, he's a very versatile player. He had a good freshman year, a good rookie year, I should say, averaging 13.5 points per game. But he's a big guy, incredible 7'2", wingspan, really good agility for his size, and really good abilities. He can do a lot of different things on the court. He can play all over the court as a result. Lots of versatility. Can play small forward, can play power forward. And of course, the Wizards have a lot of other bigs on the team, so he can fit in nicely with them. And of course, now they got Westbrook, so there's more excitement around the Wizards, what might happen this year. He's next to an all-time great scorer, not just in Westbrook, but also in Bradley Beal. Go Gators. They got a lot of potential on that team. That's one of the reasons why people are excited. But another big reason I think sports card investors are excited about Rui is the fact that he has Japanese heritage. He was the first drafted NBA player ever born in Japan. And as we all know, sports card collecting is international, it is global, and there is a lot of interest in sports cards from the Asian countries. So if you have someone from Asia who's performing well in the NBA, that's going to mean good things for their card values. And that's why I think a lot of people are excited about Rui as well. And you can see his cards have been on a nice upwards trend over the course of the last let's see, we're looking at the last 60 days here. I put 4 different cards on the graph. I put his 2019 Optic base, his Optic Hollow, his Prism base, and his Prism Silver. And let's look at all of these in terms of percentage change. These are all PSA 10s. His last sales, as of the last sales of all of these cards, let's take a look down here. His Optic base is up 30% over the last 60 days. His Optic Hollow is up 44% over the last 60 days. His Prism base is up 41% over the last 60 days. And his Prism Silver also up 41%. So very solid increases leading into this NBA season for Rui. People are excited to see what he and the Wizards can do this year. Okay, for our number 2 card, we've got to go back to the sport of football. And I have already talked about one of the pass catchers on Kansas City. I already talked about Travis Kelce. Well, I'm about to talk about another. I'm about to talk about Tyreek Hill. This guy has been on fire this season. He is leading the NFL right now with 16 touchdowns total, 14 receiving, 2 rushing. He's an unbelievably fast, versatile wide receiver who can do a lot of things. And what's crazy is while Kelce is leading the league with 1,250 receiving yards, Hill is within 100 yards of that. So literally, Kansas City has 2 of the leading receivers in the league. And of course, why not, right? Mahomes, an incredible connection with both of these guys, putting up outstanding numbers. And, another thing with Tyreek Hill is his card prices were likely held down for a while because this guy's had a history of some trouble. He got arrested in college on domestic battery charges, and then he got in trouble for that again. Now, he was not charged the second time when he was in the NFL, but nonetheless, he was accused of things by his fiance. It was an ugly situation that transpired. But it seems like that's enough in the past now where sports card investors are willing to kind of forget and focus on the fact that this guy is tearing it up on the field this year. And this year, at least, he's been able to stay out of trouble. And you can see that they're quite excited about him. If you look at his card prices, let's look at it by dollar change here. I've got on the screen his Optic base card in PSA 10, as well as his Silver in PSA 10 from Prism, both from the year 2016. And these cards have been on a really, really nice upwards trajectory. We're looking here over the last 90 days. If we look at this by percentage, you can see that the Optic base card is up over 224% over the last 90 days. And the Prism Silver card is up over 166% over the last 90 days. Those are some pretty solid price increases for Tyreek Hill. But even more impressive is what the number 1 guy on our list has done. And this guy, also from the sport of football, has seen his cards go wild, mainly over the last couple of weeks, because he just got injected as the new starting quarterback for your Philadelphia Eagles. I am, of course, talking about Jalen Hurts. And not only did Jalen Hurts get announced as Philadelphia's new quarterback, but in his first full game as starter, he came out and he led Philadelphia against all odds to upset the heavily favored New Orleans Saints in his first start. And he had a nice game. His numbers weren't crazy, but he did throw for 167 yards and a touchdown. He also rushed for 106 yards. And I mean, honestly, Philadelphia fans would have taken anything after the poor play by Wentz the last several weeks. So to have Hurts come out and actually lead them to victory, not make a lot of mistakes, and to allow them to win a game, they were really heavy underdogs. It has made him an instant star in the city of Philadelphia and with sports card collectors and investors around the country. And you can see that in his card prices. What is most impressive to me, so we're going to look here. This is Jalen Hurts' 2020 Mosaic Silver Raw over the last 30 days and his 2020 Prism Base Raw over the last 30 days. What is most impressive to me is the bottom trend line here, which is his 2020 Prism Base Raw card, because this Prism football only came out in late November. And what you almost always see happen when a new set comes out is that the first few sales are really high, and then you see this immediate drop in the price of all of the cards as more and more people rip the boxes and more supply hits this secondary market. It is quite rare to see a player's cards from a popular set like Prism actually go up in value over the course of the first few weeks since that set is released. But that is exactly what we are seeing with Jalen Hurts, which tells you how much heat there is actually around this guy right now in the sports card world. This was a card you could have bought his 2020 Prism Base Raw card on Thanksgiving Day for $8. $8, you could have bought that on Thanksgiving Day. And here we are just a couple of weeks after Thanksgiving, and that card is now $56. That is some pretty nice increase right before the holidays. Goodness gracious, from Thanksgiving to today, that card has gone from $8 to $56. There is no question that Jalen Hurts should be leading this list as number one this week for that. And he's brought so much excitement now. It will be really interesting to see what Philadelphia can do and if he in fact is going to be their quarterback of the future. What a top 5 this week. What a top 6, I should say. Thank you. And if you haven't yet, you got to go download that Sports Card Investor app in the App Store. It is once again 100% free. I think you're going to love it. Let me know what you think of it. Leave a review for the app. I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks for checking it out. And thanks for watching another episode here at Sports Card Investor. We will see you back tomorrow morning with our next Advent charity box break, where we have now raised over almost $5,000 for charity so far during the month of December, with more on its way. I'll see you tomorrow morning for that episode. Take care.